What's up, guys? My name's Cam.
My name's Joel.
And of course, we're Sports from the Gutter. This is episode 5, and as we usually do, we're going to get right into it with our finals post-game analysis. So I know I had the Cavs winning at 7, and
you were pretty far off.
Too late to take it back.
Yeah.
Too late to take it back.
I knew you were going to be wrong. I was one game off. I had Warriors in 6, but you were pretty off of that. Yeah, I just had confidence in LeBron. I knew the firepower of the Warriors, was going to be hard to even, come close to them, especially with the Cavs. The way the defense was in the regular season, I thought maybe there would be some kind of, difference in the finals or even in the playoffs because, they did look better in the playoffs, but just playing against the Warriors made it look like they were playing a high school basketball team. Yeah, it was pretty much. I find it hilarious that Molly from First Take was the one that was right out of all the analysts that they have there. Thought that was pretty ironic. But
why is it ironic?
I don't know, because she's the one that gets way less talking time than Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman, who are supposed to be the top analysts, and yet they were the ones that had it wrong, yet Jalen Rose's girl.
They need to give her not even more screen time, just more
talking time.
More talking time.
Yeah, I know. She makes them look bad a lot of times, so I guess that's why. But
what do you think about a mediator? What do you think about me having a mediator on the show?
I don't know. I feel like then we're just really be a carbon copy.
Yeah. Of what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
Have a special guest, something like that. Eventually, who knows?
Yeah, maybe something like that along those lines. I don't know about a actual Molly for our own. That just sounds weird.
Yeah, it sounds funny. Yeah. All right, let's get back on track here.
Yeah.
So in the finals, it was pretty much game 3. We'll start with game 3.
Mm-hmm.
So of course we did talk about the other games, but as a whole, game 1 and 2, it just looked like, the Cavs had no chance whatsoever that they were going to completely get swept. And then in game 3, you did notice a change in, for instance, Kyrie Irving. It looked like he was just kind of turning it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Great, absolutely great game. He really stepped it up. Kevin Love did have a great game in game 3. And it looked like they were going to win. It looked like they were going to come out with the win. But then that dagger by KD was what completely just doused them.
Not only that, but there was just a couple of questionable plays by LeBron at the end, which weren't even that questionable, but only because he's on the floor for pretty much the whole game. That blame gets thrown onto him. But that's not really completely his fault. The crazy thing, though, is that the Cavs win this game, we still have a series. That's what it came down to. And if, because we, the Cavs, I said we. Yeah.
Everybody knows I want the Cavs to win, but the Cavs, if they would have won that game, they were supposed to, because I believe I saw the report, the last 2 minutes and 48 seconds.
Yeah,
I think it was.
That's pretty much.
They just completely didn't score, and the Warriors went on an 11-0 run, and KD came and just showed us why he was the Finals MVP in that game 3, or over the whole series, of course. But then, that game 3 was detrimental to them. Them losing it, completely just kind of took the fire out of them. They did come in and win game 4, but that, as a series in a whole, it would have helped a lot if they did.
Tremendously.
Yeah, if they did win that game 3. Game 5, what did you think about game 5?
Game 5 pretty much went how I thought it was going to go. I thought the Warriors were going to win pretty easy, just not a blowout game like they usually do. I know Cleveland was going to come back a lot stronger. Hopefully the shots that they were making in game 4 was going to translate in game 5. For the most part, it did. J.R. Smith. Can we talk about J.R. Smith?
Of course we could talk about J.R. Smith.
He waits until the last game to finally come alive. And there was an angel with J.R. Smith throughout those shots.
And when we had our top 10, 1 through 10 ranked starters.
Yeah, he was frequently on the bottom.
He was at the bottom for all of them.
Time. Yeah.
And he completely turned around. I think he went 7 for 8.
7 for 8,
in game 5, I think it was.
Yeah.
He just completely turned it around. He looked like the JR we all know and love.
I don't even know if that's we know that. It's 7 for 8. That's
he's always been a streaky shooter, so he's known to, when he gets hot,
this dude was making crazy shots.
He was. Did you see?
Insane shots.
It was 2 people on him. He was at the top of the key, and he just launched it.
Near half court shots. It was ridiculous.
Making it look easy too. It was crazy.
Shots like that kind of made me think, maybe the Cavaliers might have this game right here. They might.
All right. So JR specifically, he has the potential to do that, but like I said, he's so streaky. When he's missing, he's just looking like he was in game 1 through 4 or 1 through 3, pretty much. And then he really turned it up, in that last game. So that was good to see. Kevin Love, as far as rebounds go in that game, he was fine.
That was pretty much the thing for Kevin Love throughout the series, though. Besides rebounding,
he was scoring decently, but then towards the end of the series, that's when I feel like he really just completely stopped scoring. He just, he wasn't on the board or on the box score as much.
He only had like 6 points in the last game.
Exactly, and that was just sad to see.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that's why they lost, but it definitely would help.
It's definitely a big reason. Yeah, he needs to nail those threes. Speaking of threes, Kyle Korver, nothing. If I'm the Atlanta Hawks, I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Like, we got rid of him.
Yeah, because we were looking at the Atlanta Hawks when they made that trade, like, if they were idiots. Like, your guys are in contention in the East, and you're going to trade, like, one of your best players.
I mean, I wouldn't say he's one of their best players.
He's still pretty up there, though. As far as the Atlanta Hawks, it's not their stacked team, though.
You got to remember that.
But, like, for what they got was barely anything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, because they didn't see it as a loss, honestly, and
now they seem like geniuses. Yeah, now they seem like they're total fortune.
If it was like, Kyle Korver on the Grizzlies, maybe I could see that. But, this Kyle Korver, he's a little old. He's not really looking how he used to, honestly.
But you can still, we assumed he was still going to make some threes at least.
Did not happen.
Nothing at all.
So, I mean, the Cavs took a loss. They lost 4-1. Where does LeBron go from here? Where do you see, what do you think LeBron could do as far as maybe trades, getting people, bringing people in, or him leaving? What do you think would be the best move for the Cavs going forward in 2018 season?
I think the whole what does LeBron do from here has a lot to do with why he shaved off his head, because he knew he was going to start stressing out pretty hard.
So he just did it early.
Yeah, because he knew his hair loss was going to accelerate by like times 10. He's got a lot of decisions to make. Though obviously they're talking about LA. I think that's a huge mistake. I see no reason why he should go. I see a reason because, obviously it's the whole LA. Right. He's got a house over there, but you're going to leave behind Kyrie, who's one of the top 5 talents in the league right now. Makes no sense. Their best bet is to get Paul George,
right?
Which is pretty much
I agree. They just definitely bring in a big piece. I honestly just think that it's similar to the whole Kevin Love situation where it's like a bunch of rumors surrounding him about him leaving, and people are just speculating. But I really don't think he's going anywhere.
They got to get rid of Kevin Love. They have no choice.
Do you think so?
Yeah, they have no choice.
So replace Kevin Love for somebody else.
Paul George is the only choice. That's the way.
I feel like they should try to land another big name while trying to keep what they have and just trade and sacrifice their bench players, trade away some players, bring in another big name so it can have somebody to pretty much compete with the Warriors' big 4.
I don't know if that's possible, salary cap wise.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Definitely people are gonna have to take some pay cuts and things like that. I'm pretty sure LeBron is able to convince other people to take some pay cuts. He's already got his big contracts with endorsements and things like that, so I'm sure he's willing to. I don't know when is his contract.
He's still got a
long way to go.
Yeah, he's still got another year. Like next season is when he renegotiates his contract.
Right.
It would have been nice if he took a nice little pay cut, but they should have thought of that before.
So like one of the biggest. It's crazy too because like when you want to talk about people getting paid, Stephen Curry is the 82nd highest paid player in the entire NBA, and the man is one of the top players in NBA.
Yeah, top 6, I want to say. He's definitely top 10. Definitely top 10.
We'll agree that. Yeah. Agree top 10. Top 5, I don't think so. But he's definitely deserves more money than what he's getting, and he has a lot of money coming his way, especially in the next season coming. But that actually is going to be a struggle for the Warriors keeping their core players
I don't think
together.
It's going to be that much of a struggle, honestly.
Think so?
I don't think because it seems like they're all on the same page. That they're going to be like, okay, guys, we want to keep winning the championships. Let's keep it this way.
And I feel like they have no problem with like, all right, let's get rid of these other guys. Let's see who else we can bring in.
Well, okay, so this offseason, the ones they have to worry about are going to be
Sean Livingston,
Andre Iguodala. Those are like their main, obviously, because Durant's going to resign.
Right.
He's going to take less money. He's already said he's willing to take less money. Curry, there's a good chance he's willing to take less money.
I won't be surprised.
Yeah, obviously he's going to make way more than he used to, but I wouldn't be surprised if he makes less money.
I won't be surprised either.
But Andre Iguodala and Sean Livingston, those are the two that are question marks. I can see Iguodala being fine with taking less money, but Sean Livingston, there's a chance he might want to test the waters, see what the market tells him. They're definitely losing Ian Clark.
Oh yeah, definitely. Ian Clark, I'm almost 100% sure he's 100% sure he's going somewhere else. And I feel like people really kind of underestimate the impact that Andre Iguodala or what he brings to the table. Pretty much, I feel like people really underestimate his ability to
and Sean Livingston.
Exactly, him. Sean Livingston, I don't think people necessarily underestimate him because he's like 6'7", I think 6'7" point guard. So there's nobody really guarding that fader. That it seems like that's his only move, honestly. But nobody's.
I feel like I underestimated it. Like I knew he had the talent, but until Game 5, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. The Warriors have an amazing.
He could probably go to another team and start as a point guard.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So.
But he's way better off the bench, though. He's just like that.
Yeah, definitely. Killer. And there's some players that are just like that. Exactly. Yeah. Like, just come back as a spark plug instead. Yeah. But as far as like the impact of players on the Warriors, I know we touched this on. You touched on this briefly. The impact of all the big four, if you will. You said that off camera, of course, that we had this conversation where you said that Draymond Green
is overrated. I recall that statement. Yes, I do. Let me get into that a little bit. See, by overrated, I don't mean he's not good. Obviously, Draymond's a great player.
It sounds like a Pokemon. It
does sound like
Pokemon. Go.
Draymond. I don't know what sound he would make. But I do think he's overrated in the sense of he had a pretty decent playoffs. The first series, he was great against the Portland Trailblazers. Amazing defense against the Jazz. He had a couple good games. But then the finals, he was pretty bad. This season, he was actually pretty decent. Numbers went down all across
you brought
the board.
numbers.
I brought numbers.
You brought numbers.
Last season, he shot 49%.
Okay.
Shot 42% this year.
Okay.
From 3-point, he shot 38% last year. This year, he shot 31%.
Okay.
Assist, he was down 55 assists. Rebounds, down 40 rebounds. And offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, down 134 rebounds.
All right, so you said this, right?
Let me guess. You're bringing up KD? You're going to bring up KD.
KD, of course, him coming as such a big name, first of all, and his impact on offense. Everybody had to sacrifice. I'm pretty sure if you brought up Stephen Curry's stats, as far as like, field goals attempted, things of that nature, you'll see that it was a drop in everybody. You're going to talk about Klay Thompson because that's going to be your argument that Klay Thompson brings a lot to the field.
Yeah.
To the table.
As much of a huge drop, but keep going.
I feel like Klay Thompson is more expendable than Draymond Green.
I totally disagree. But back to Draymond though, really quick. My problem with Draymond is that this is a big trash talker. So if he's going to keep talking trash, I would like for him to back up the trash.
How does he not back up his trash talking? Forget offensively. This man is going to be the defensive player of the year.
He shot 34.5%.
You're talking crap? You're talking crap. You have two options. You could deny the person you're talking crap to on offense.
Defense, he was great. But in the finals, even his defense wasn't as great as it was in the earlier.
It doesn't matter. Like, you want to talk about stuff, his intangibles is what makes Draymond who he is, first of all. So his ability on the defensive end, he can't, nobody's getting, he can guard anybody at any position, 1 through 5. You can't take away that from him, first of all. He's the steam engine of that team. I'm not going to say.
I feel like that's who I feel is very overhyped, right there.
I don't think so.
I think that's just a nice little catchphrase that they have for him.
I understand you're saying that.
You get what I'm saying, right? You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but I don't get what you're saying.
Kind of throw off his faults, like his 22 fouls throughout the series and his 12 turnovers.
Of course he has his faults, and of course his attitude, and that stuff. But then again, like his technicals, and even I believe even Steve Kerr said it. Like it's not they don't like of course it can affect him, like when he got suspended, but him doing that kind of just motivates other teammates. Like if I see my teammate, getting angry at the refs, yelling, it motivates me to like, all right, yeah, this guy's in it. He's in it 100%. I want to be in it 100%. And I'm pretty sure if you take away Draymond from that equation, you'll see that, people would be hanging their heads more. Like Curry, he misses a shot. You just see him like walking back, his shoulders shrugged, body language. That was a problem with Curry. I feel like Draymond on that team just helps the team in general. Like as far as like motivational purposes, his defense, he can literally guard at any position. Like I said, again, people are not really worried about his offense because you have so many offensive weapons on the Warriors. His offense doesn't really matter that much, to be honest. And we clearly saw it. They're the champions, even though you mentioned all of his stats that dropped. Doesn't matter because they have KD.
Yeah, obviously that helps out the whole situation. I don't know. He gives you off the vibe of like the friend that your parents tell you not to hang out with. And you're like, come on, now he's cool, Mom. He's cool. But like back of your head, you're like, no, I kind of get what she's saying, but you're totally kind of. I
feel like I would love to party with Draymond Green.
Yeah. Oh, he totally seems fun to party with. Yeah,
chill with. I feel like Draymond Green is the coolest person. Like, cool, but you said you feel like that
bad apple kind of thing. When you're like in high school, though. When you're like in high school.
I don't think so.
I don't know. He gives off the vibe. But back to Klay, though, where you're saying Klay is expendable. What are you going to
Klay Thompson, he's such a streaky shooter. I feel like he's like super overhyped. Like his ability to score, that's all good in it, but he can't, handle the ball well. Seems like he has one hand.
Yeah.
Defensively, he's pretty good, but he was guarding Kyrie Irving in game 4 and 5, and he was completely like getting shit on. Kyrie.
Yeah. There was a
definitely. And then I feel like
game 5 though, Kyrie didn't have a great game 5 though. He had a decent game 5. Yeah. He had 26.
Game 3 and game 4 were definitely his best games, but game 5, he definitely had, I think it was like 26 points. That's pretty good.
Decent. Last fourth quarter though, he was pretty obsolete completely.
Yeah. I'll agree with that. Klay. Yeah, and it's crazy because in game 5 they kept getting close. Forget that. I'm not talking about this. Klay Thompson is expected. So, do you see Klay Thompson being able to go to another team? And make it his team? Do you see him having his own team?
I'm just so used to seeing him on the Warriors. That whole thought is hard to see, but it's possible.
No, it's not. You don't
think it's possible?
It's not possible.
I don't see him leading the team.
He has no leadership skills. He had
maybe he hasn't been.
He can't carry a team.
Thrown up to the task. That's the thing,
he can't carry the team.
You don't think he's carrying?
I don't think he can carry a team. He completely took the all the way back seat when it came to like KD coming onto the team.
Yeah.
Like, you can clearly see that.
But that was only natural, though. That was only natural.
I see that, but
if he's in the back seat, Draymond's in the trunk, though.
Draymond, like I said, I'm talking about offensively right now.
He's not pushing the car.
They need Draymond on defense. In order for the Warriors to be as a big impact, defense. They don't need.
They need Klay on defense. They need Klay on
Draymond,
defense. Kyrie would have had a field day if Klay wasn't there.
I feel like Klay Thompson's expendable because you can get another person that's able to guard like that at that position. You can't really get somebody that can guard like anybody. He's so streaky, like you can't really depend on it, especially in games 1 through 3.
Still shot 42.5%.
He shot terribly.
Numbers.
He shot terribly. He didn't make an impact in games 1 through 3 whatsoever. And
no, it was 1 through 2. 3, he had a good game.
3 he had an alright game. I think he went 3 for 7 or 4 for 7 from the 3-point range.
Can't remember exactly.
Something like it was
much better games. Though.
It was okay. He definitely, he had his field goal percentage and his 3-point percentage were a lot better, which was good to see. But I feel like you can really get somebody at that 2 position so that can guard.
That can do both.
Because he, in essence, he does save Curry when it comes to like guarding the best point guard or the best guard on the other team. But I feel like there's other players that you can get that can do that. And then like you can't really if you were to talk about Klay Thompson have his own team, he doesn't have all of the all the skills necessary. Not skills necessarily, but there's what it takes pretty much to have your own team. I feel like Draymond is definitely more capable than Klay for having his own team, just because purely his leadership abilities, I'm not gonna say his offensive abilities are that of Klay's, but his defensive abilities are definitely there. And he definitely. I feel like I could agree when you say that he depends on the other Warriors for offense, because I don't think if he was in a system where he was being depended on,
like if he's on, let's say what's name a team like the Pelicans. Well, that's not a good example right now.
We'll say the Kings.
Yeah, the Kings. Something like the Kings. He's not going to get anywhere near his numbers right now.
Right. I mean, I feel like his offensive numbers will go up, but maybe his field goal percentage might drop because he's taking a lot more shots, and we're really going to see
31%, 42%. My bad.
Like I said, it doesn't really matter. They got the ring, and I'm pretty sure that's his mentality. Like, I can miss all these shots, and we're still going to win.
Do you think that we're going to see the same 2 teams next year?
Yeah, I definitely do, because I feel like in this offseason, LeBron is going to make some good moves. He has a couple, of opportunities to land, like a big name, make some trades. I don't believe that he's going anywhere else. But do you see anything possibly that could, for any other teams that they could do to kind of, keep up with the Warriors and the Cavs?
No, I definitely just see it being the Cavs again, because I do think they're going to have to make a deal. Paul George, like we said earlier, that's the only way that I see them getting to there. I know Carmelo's been brought up. I don't think that's getting them anywhere with Carmelo, because he doesn't play defense very well. They still need someone to get Klay or KD when LeBron can't do it. So I don't think Carmelo can get the job done. What do you think?
I gotta disagree with you. I feel like you're putting way too much faith in Klay. Like, where do you get this confidence in this man?
I'm
like,
putting more of that confidence in KD. That's where most of that.
Oh yeah, KD. That would be of course. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like Klay. You think Klay would be a better asset to the Cavs to make them a contender?
What do you mean? Wait, what? Klay would be a better asset to the Cavs.
Wait, didn't you just say that the Cavs are gonna try to land
Carmelo?
Okay.
Well.
Yeah. So then you said, to compete against Klay and KD.
Yeah.
Okay. Exactly. Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like Klay should not be in that conversation.
I think so. I think
like Steph and KD.
Yeah. Well, obviously, but I'm saying he's gonna be guarding the two more.
Oh yeah. Okay. Now I see what you're saying. Right. Yeah.
Like Chris Broussard, he was bringing up, what if the Knicks buy out Carmelo's contract and the Cavaliers sign him for the minimum and he comes off the bench? That would be insane. Doubt that's happening.
I feel like people still underestimate Carmelo's ability to score. Like, regardless, you can't take that away from him. I don't see him coming off the bench, honestly. And I feel like his ego wasn't going to allow that either.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just feel like, people in a way underestimate him. I just feel like he's being so held back by the Knicks right now, especially with Phil Jackson.
He's getting out there. He's a little 33 bit now.
Yeah, I mean,
LeBron's a physical specimen, though. Carmelo looks out of shape when he got in the league.
I mean, I'm not gonna say. Did you watch him when he was on the Nuggets and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm just saying he just looks completely out of shape to me.
I mean,
he doesn't care about it as much as LeBron does.
See, that's going a little too far there, because if you want to say he doesn't care, then that would mean that he's not putting up the numbers that he's been putting up.
I'm saying, like, as far as longevity, as LeBron does.
I mean, he's still averaging, I think, every season over 22 points.
That's okay. It's not Paul George. That's what I'm saying. If they really want to beat the Warriors, they need Paul George. I don't think
Paul George is too much better than Carmelo Anthony.
I think he's way better. I think he's way better. Defensively and offensively.
Defensively, I think Paul George is better. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna say way better, but I definitely think Carmelo is a better offensive weapon than Paul George.
I think just mentally, it's a better match if they get Paul George. I just don't like the whole idea of Carmelo and LeBron. I think it's going to be a lot of feelings coming out like, oh, we wanted this for so long, and if things doesn't go the way they expected it to go,
it just looks bad.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of friction going on. Same thing with the whole Chris Paul thing. Don't really see how that's a good solution either.
Chris Paul's thing, in LA, Clippers.
There's a little bit more talk that he might look around more. They're saying the Spurs.
I mean, the Spurs is not happening. He's not going to the Spurs.
So?
No, I doubt it. 100% doubt it. I doubt he's going to the Spurs.
Also helps now that the Clippers have Jerry West. That helps tremendously because people like Jerry West. Everywhere he goes, good things happen. So it's a good chance he could actually get some good stuff going over there again.
We can see. That would be honestly great, because I know Chris Paul, by this point in the season, he would at least wanted a ring or to be in a contender, but they seem to be at this place where they just can't get past. And I feel like they have all the necessary tools to get to the finals, but they just keep getting hurt by it. Literally hurt.
Yeah, literally.
Injuries keep, hurting, and it's so sad to see, because I really believe Chris Paul deserves to be at least in contention for a ring, and if it's not him or it's Blake Griffin getting hurt. So at this point, I kind of feel like I'm not going to put too much confidence in either of them, because it just seems like you never know what's going to happen. Like, they could just get hurt at the drop of a dime, especially when it comes down to like a crucial point in like a series. So I feel like, it's not looking good at all for the Clippers in the near future. Even though they are getting Jerry West, I just feel like they're gonna have to get somebody else that can make a big impact. Somebody that could, it seems like Paul George is gonna be, he's like kind of like the shining light for a lot of teams, honestly.
To the Clippers, I don't see that.
I'm just saying, for a lot of different teams, it just seems like people are trying to get him or Gordon Hayward. But
Speaking of Blake Griffin, though, what do you see in his future?
I've always thought Blake Griffin was overrated. I don't.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah,
he definitely improved his shooting ability tremendously.
These injuries aren't helping that
at all, and that's what it comes down to. Like, he's definitely a scorer. He's pretty good on defense at that position. He can dunk the ball amazingly. We all know that. Yeah. But I just feel like, because of injuries, it's kind of just hindering him, like, his game completely. And I just can't depend on him to be healthy and, carry the whole team through, or, even be the face of a team, honestly, because it just seems like, he's just not going to be healthy for an entire series.
So if you're the Celtics, are you taking Gordon Hayward or are you taking Blake Griffin?
Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, Gordon Hayward.
Definitely Gordon Hayward, because they definitely need somebody at that 3 position for sure. So, they have Jay Crowder. I definitely could see him coming off the bench more. I'm not going to take away that from his game. He's definitely a dead-eye shooter. But I feel like that Gordon Hayward would be that missing piece that they need. You know, they also getting Markelle Fultz, which, you know, it's not 100% set in stone. But, you know, chances are that's happening, right? So I feel like the Celtics may give the Cavs a run for their money next season.
I totally don't see that happening at all.
Seems like we're
I had a disagreement here. Well, it really depends on who the Cavs get this offseason. I highly believe that Kevin Love's not going to be a Cavalier. I think they saw that he was a weak point when it comes to facing the Warriors. And I really think that we're going to go after either Paul George or someone to fill that spot.
You know what's crazy? From what I've noticed in a lot of series in the playoffs, it just looks like the Cavs are so much confident playing every other team. But when it comes to them playing the Warriors, it just looks like there's nothing they can do. And it's crazy to see that because the Cavs playing any other team, it just looks like it's easy for them. Like, you know, they pretty much swept through the whole way. Yeah. The Celtics got that one win in. But when it came down to it, they almost got swept by the Warriors. And, you know, I have so much faith in, like, you know, the big three in the Cavs, but it just seems like, you know, there's nothing they can really do against the Warriors. And we've seen that clearly. So next season, and I'm so tired of it, honestly. I'm so tired of seeing, you know, the same two teams. And it's kind of just watering down the NBA for me as a whole because, and, you know, Adam Silver, he did say, you know, like, teams going to have to catch up, but who's going to get like a Stephen Curry, KD, a Draymond?
The KD is... Okay, Draymond again. You're gonna say Draymond again?
I said it purposely. I left Klay out purposely. But
a KD is the one that I'm like, you can't replicate that.
Who's gonna go 73-9 and then get a KD? Like, come on, Adam Silver. I just feel like it's not taking away from the competition level because, you know, it's definitely possible for every team to do what they did. The Warriors just made smart moves, and you can't take that away from them, of course. But
defensively is where they have to go about if they want to beat the Warriors. Like, they showed the stats. The teams with the top defenses fared way better than any other team.
Yeah, the Cavs defense, especially watching the finals, their transition defense was terrible, honestly. Like, and, you know, like I mentioned, the Warriors pacing, it just seems like the Cavs can keep up. And then, you know, every time, you know, you see the Cavs, you know, somebody shoot a three or something like that, you see at least 2 or 3, you know, Warriors running back, you know, hauling down the court. And they make that play in transition. It seems like the Cavs just could never figure it out how to stop them in transition basketball. Yeah. And that was the catalyst right there, honestly. And if the Cavs don't figure out how
another good word.
If they don't figure out how to stop it next season,
it's gonna be about the same thing. Yeah. I find it hilarious though how Paul George, his name was not connected to the Cavaliers at all until they lost. Next thing you know, the Cavaliers are like their most like suspected prospect.
Right.
It made no sense to me.
Like I said, Paul
it makes
George,
sense. It just was.
He just seems like he's every team's like, we need somebody really good. Like we need a big name, and like Paul George, it just seems like everybody's shining light.
Well, it's good for the Pacers. Well, it's not good for the Pacers, but the situation, it's right there with the Pacers. They obviously want to get something for him since he has 1 year left in his contract. So it makes sense that the Cavaliers can trade someone like Kevin Love to the Pacers and like, we don't want to lose Paul George and get nothing in return, so we might as well get Kevin Love. By the way, speaking of Kevin Love, do you think LeBron is wishing that he didn't make that whole Kevin Love Andrew Wiggins trade?
I think so. Yeah. I think he's fully regretting it now. That would have been a sight to see. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy to bring that up. I never thought about that, to be honest. That would have been something to see.
Yeah, like that's pretty much the player that they would kind of need right now in this situation.
Seriously, like because Andrew Wiggins, I don't think his game is at Paul George's level yet. He can be there though.
Yeah, and with LeBron's help,
exactly. With LeBron's help, it probably could have dispelled the process. 100 times faster. So
defensively, he's not bad at defense.
Not at all.
Obviously, he's athletic. Definitely could have helped out much better than a Carmelo, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna say too much better than Carmelo, but. You really hate Carmelo, don't you?
I don't hate Carmelo. I'm just saying his ceiling.
You're one of those people who just like complete bashes Carmelo. And
I was a big Carmelo fan when he first came in the league. I don't know if you remember that. I was a pretty big Carmelo. Like I was a LeBron fan, but I saw Carmelo. I was like, you know what? That's
because they came out around the same time. And I was watching Melo, you know, play in Syracuse. I'm like, yo, this guy is gonna be that guy. And you let me down the aspect of, you know, he wasn't LeBron, where he was able to bring in guys, kind of do whatever you want to kind of run the league. Yeah. Kind of thing, and he wasn't as dominant either. Mm-hmm. But I feel like he, in a different world, his scoring ability could have been the best in the entire NBA. In the entire NBA. But, you know, things didn't pan out the way I'm sure he thought it would. and that's what kind of hindered him from being the the absolute player that he was going to be. And you can see that
depressed.
Playing on Phil Jackson's team, man, I would be depressed too. And I don't really see that in his game because, at his age, I'm not going to say at his age, he can't really play the way he used to. He can't play as dynamically. He can still ball. And, his post game is definitely still unstoppable. His fader is still unstoppable. His driving ability is still there. He seems like his assists definitely stepped it up. I know we had Doug on the show last episode, and he kind of mentioned the stats that Carmelo improved on. Mm-hmm. And in the right system, Carmelo definitely can be a super threat. And we'll see some moves that he definitely needs to lead the Knicks. First of all, he needs to get out of there with Phil Jackson. Let Phil Jackson do what he wants to do in New York. Let him just ruin them more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just see in the near future if Carmelo definitely lands in the right system, he may have a turnaround in his career. I would love to see him get a ring, honestly, because I did have some love for Melo, especially coming out of Syracuse and then, going to the Nuggets, playing with AI. Definitely thought they had something there.
Yeah, that could have been.
I think they even went to I think they got pretty close. I think they went to the Western Conference Finals and lost. That would have been something to see there, but it still was AI out of his prime. So,
but I think the year before that, he was still like a scoring champ, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, definitely.
So I don't know. I'm not a Carmelo hater. It's just I want more for him. I guess that's what it is. It's like
you're saying he looks out of shape. I don't think he's completely out of shape or anything like that. He looks out of shape to me. Moving on. Yeah. All right. So the last thing before we close it out, as we usually do, we have like our top 10 or top 5 kind of thing. Today we're gonna do our top 5, or we're gonna do like our 1 through 5. Like 1 being the point guard, 5 being the center. Our top 5 lefties. I know Joel's top 5 lefties. He knows my top 5 lefties. So we're gonna tell you.
I think I know your top 5 lefties actually. I think I knew it. I just kind of forgot it.
Okay, but we mentioned our top 5 lefties at one point. So we can just say each position first. I'll say the 1. You can say your 1, and we can kind of debate who would be better at that position, and so on. Continue to the 5. So I'll start at the 1. Of course, I originally, and I'll tell you this change. I originally had Goran Dragic at the 1, but then I'm like a huge IT fan, so I definitely put Isaiah Thomas there at the 1. Okay. And who did you have at the 1?
I got Conley.
Mike Conley.
Yeah,
that's good. He'd probably be the best one to stop Isaiah Thomas. Yeah, because his defensive ability.
There's a good amount of people that can, in my opinion, but Conley.
Name somebody else.
My
at the point guard position.
My views on Isaiah Thomas are not high right now at all.
I don't understand where that's coming from. Like, what could you possibly critique about his game besides the fact that he's 5'8"?
Yeah,
and of course, that just seems
5'9".
5'9", probably.
5'9". Yeah. You're selling him short. Look at that.
I'm not his game at all. Maybe his height, but.
All right, who do you got at the 2?
At the 2, I have James Harden.
James Harden.
Yep, he was a 1 this season, but I had him at the 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had James Harden at 2.
I got Manu Ginobili at the 2. Speaking of James Harden, though, did you hear that supposedly Chris Paul is looking at the Rockets and Nuggets? But why the Rockets? Why do you think the Rockets?
Because they don't really have a point guard right now. They have, they definitely transitioned James Harden to that point guard position, and he did phenomenally. He was averaging like 11, the most assists in the league. But I feel like him and Chris Paul would definitely be something to see, honestly.
You think so? Well, I think it would be something to see. I don't know if it would be a good sight to see because they're both people that like have the ball in their hands. Whether or not they pass the ball eventually, that's a whole different thing. But they definitely like having the ball. So I don't know if that's.
I see what you're saying, but at the same time, I feel like Chris Paul would be willing to take that back seat role with James Harden because he feels like James Harden may be the better scorer in this situation in that backcourt. So it would be exactly. So I feel like he would take the back seat kind of role, be the point guard. And then have James Harden at the 2, let James Harden focus on being a scorer. And I would be happy to see that just because I'm tired of seeing James Harden drive and get the fouls called. They need to stop that. The worst part of the game. If I could change any rule about this game at all, it would be that. They need to stop calling those fouls on James Harden. And I hate that.
Just James Harden specifically.
Specifically Harden. Anybody else can do it. I don't care. Nobody else does it nearly as often as him. At the 3, who did you had Manu Ginobili? Yeah, probably Manu Ginobili, I'm assuming. Obviously. At the 3, I had Tayshaun Prince. We're not doing current lefties.
Current Tayshaun Prince?
No, we're not doing current Tayshaun Prince at all. I don't even know what he's doing now. Yeah. But definitely Tayshaun Prince in his prime. But like I said, we're doing all time lefties. So Tayshaun Prince, his defensive ability was definitely one that was unparalleled at his time. Mm-hmm. His lankiness, I wish he could have been the offensive weapon that KD was with his lankiness, because I just compare him to other lanky players. He just looks
slimy to me.
Slimy? What is with your descriptions with people? Like
Tayshaun Prince, he's a weird looking dude. But you can't deny his talent. He was very talented.
Can't deny his talent.
Yeah. That Pistons
I do agree that he's not the most handsome player.
Slimy is what I use.
Slimy. Yeah. That's a very interesting adjective.
He looks like a taller and skinnier Richard Jefferson to me, with hair.
I can see that. I can see it. Yeah. Richard Jefferson comparison. Yeah. But yeah, I just had him at the 3. All-time lefties at the small forward position, just because his defensive ability. He definitely could lock down pretty much any player at that forward position in his prime. Who did you have at the 3?
I had Tony Kukoc.
So yeah, Tayshaun Prince is stopping Tony Kukoc.
Yeah. I just wanted to throw a little.
He's like saying his name.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Kukoc. Just like a little wild card in there. Wild card.
Yeah. All right. At the 4, I had Zach Randolph.
Okay.
Zach Randolph. I always like Zach Randolph's game. He's always a tough it out, grinding, ground and pound, aggressive dude. Spamming people down low. Even though he's not the biggest player at the 4 position.
Yeah.
He's kind of like that Draymond kind of height, but he can still finish. He's still super strong. So I always respected that guy's game, both offensively and defensively.
I had Chris Bosh at the 4. Obviously, we know Chris Bosh in his prime was a pretty
scary player.
He was literally a Raptor, I guess. So that's what I had at the 4. Who'd you have at the 5?
At the 5, I had the Admiral, David Robinson.
Yeah.
Him under Greg Pop, and then alongside young Tony Duncan. Just combine Tim Duncan
fusion, huh?
Just combine them. Alongside young Tim Duncan, young Timmy, they definitely were unstoppable.
Twin Towers.
Yeah. Twin Towers definitely were unstoppable. So who'd you have at the 5?
I had Bill Russell. Yeah.
You went there. I went to the 11 ring.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Bill Russell for a second. Do you think he's overrated? I didn't get to see him.
Well, obviously the talent pool was dramatically lower back then, and people really don't bring that up enough. Same thing with Will Chamberlain. Like, they were literally going against people that had no talent.
But okay, that's great that you say that. So before we even close out, I'd like to mention this. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah,
and I feel like the one person that stands out, and like if you want to compare, like, what I like to compare is like Bill Russell, Wilt, and then Kareem.
Yeah.
Kareem was completely different in my opinion. Yeah. Kareem, he had the most unguardable shot at his time, which was, of course, we all know Skyhook.
Yeah.
I feel like he definitely deserves the credit that he gets. But Bill Russell, even with 11 rings, I just kind of feel like it was just too easy for him at that time.
And like with Kareem, obviously he came in a little bit, like he played with, the Will Chamberlain, but he was going to the latter part of his career. And around that period, not just to say it, the whole white athletes were starting to get pushed out the league, while more black athletes were getting the shine because they were obviously way more talented.
Athletic and all that, yeah.
So that part doesn't get brought up a lot. I guess it's not politically correct to say on ESPN that the only reason Will Chamberlain was able to score 100 points was because he went against a whole bunch of white boys. But I
love that we can just say that and not have to worry about getting any shit for it.
Yeah, that's great. But yeah, I think that point does not brought up enough.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, people probably would just in this time.
The people that do 2K, they probably struggle with that. Like, what do we rate him? Like, because he went against Robert Waters, and scored like 50
what is his
points
2K rating?
It's probably like a 93 or something.
I'm curious
94.
Now. Let's see. Bill Russell, right?
Check him
or Chamberlain.
Both of them, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they were like completely overrated, honestly. Like I said, I didn't get to see them play at their time.
Yeah,
like, so I'm not taking away from your lefty.
We just catch highlights, but you could just tell what was going on in that situation. Now, does that mean that they wouldn't be able to adapt if they were here? Not sure, not sure.
But now in this game, where small ball is popularized, I doubt.
Well, yeah, that would be a whole different thing. Right?
He's a 97.
97.
Bill Russell's a 97. Yeah. And then let's see.
Because they would be completely thrown out if they tried to put like 80 or something like that.
I'll be pretty upset if they put me at like 80.
Oh, yeah,
it's probably accurate.
If I'm like the person they named the MVP after.
Very good point. Let's see. Wilt Chamberlain. Whoa.
What?
He's a 97.
97 also?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Makes sense, but that's one part they definitely don't talk about enough.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
All right, so we definitely mentioned the finals in our opinion. I'm still a little sad at the Cavs. I really wanted the Cavs to duke it out, make it a better series. I think I definitely wanted the Cavs to win, but I just kind of wanted a better series. I wanted it to go longer,
especially compared to the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of been just sweeps for the Warriors the whole way. And if you want to count this as a sweep, even though they only lost 16-1 all the way.
That's amazing.
It's crazy. Never been done before.
Never been done. Well, 16-1's been done.
16-1 has been done. 16-0 hasn't been done.
Yeah, but they got 15-0. That was the
exactly
the streak.
That was the thing. Yep. So we're gonna close it out here. Do you have anything you want to say before we close it out here?
Just the usual: like, comment, subscribe.
Like Joel said, like and subscribe. Keep Yo, it's like 12 in the morning. I'm like so tired.
11:23.
Keep watching.